How often do you think you go grocery shopping? How long do you think you spend there? I'm sure you all have seen the interesting labels when you walk through the aisles. There are a flood of broad labels in which most of us don't even take a second glance at and also don't quite understand. We see them and assume that we can trust them. However, research says otherwise. Here's a top 10 countdown for the most misleading food labels and what to do with them. Number 10. Made with whole grains. To a shopper, it implies that it's made with all whole grains, but what most don't is that companies can easily add a pinch of whole grains to processed foods. They don't even need to tell you how much either. The best solution here is to look for 100% whole wheat or 100% whole grain on the front of the package. Number 9. Made with real fruit. This term is very unregulated, and products that claim to be made with real fruit often contain only a small amount, and it often isn't even the same kind of fruit that is pictured on the package. While companies must list the number of nutrients they contain, such as fat and cholesterol, they do not have to disclose the percentages of ingredients such as fruits and whole grains. The solution here is to always check the ingredient list to make sure that fruit is one of the top ingredients. Number 8. Natural. To a shopper, it implies it's organic, has had non-human interference, and contains no GMOs. However, what a lot of people don't know is that this label often means nothing at all, and it's one of those broadest and pointless labels of all time. Just avoid it and don't trust it. A lot of the time, this label is found in processed foods. Number 7. Sugar-free. Just because the product says it's sugar-free, it does not always mean there's no sugar in the product. It might be free of white or brown sugar, but they can still add in substitutes like honey, brown rice syrup, and maple syrup, etc. on the list, of which does not mean it's sugar-free. You should never be misled by this. Make sure to always look at the ingredient list. Number 6. Grass-fed. To a shopper, this implies that the animal was grass-fed its whole life. However, what it really means is that the animal was grass-fed at one point in its life, and this is a very misleading label. The solution here is to always look for 100% grass-fed before you spend any extra money. This even includes restaurant menus. Number 5. Cage-free. To a shopper, cage-free animals like chickens are not kept in cages. However, what they don't tell you is that most chickens used for meat were never caged in the first place. So this is a very misleading label and it's only there for marketing purposes. My solution here is to do your research ahead of time if you care about the humane treatment of chickens. Number 4. No cholesterol. It might say no cholesterol on the packaging, but be careful. They might put this label on there even though it never contained cholesterol in the first place. And you might just be paying for the label. Check beforehand if it ever has cholesterol in the first place before spending your money on it. Number 3. Immunity boosters. Companies can use words like immunity blend or supports the immune system if a product contains certain vitamins, but such words are sometimes used to give an aura of health to a product that may or may not deserve it. Number 2. High protein. Everyone is all about the protein, the more the better. However, concentrated sources of protein like whey, gluten, and soy are hard on the digestive system and should not replace protein sources from whole foods. If you see this label, it means that if it's not a whole food source that would naturally have protein like eggs, dairy, and meat, then it's been stuffed with concentrated proteins. Number 1. Fat-free. This is a notoriously misleading label. When the dangers of saturated and trans fats became clear, the market was flooded with products that showed their fat-free status. The problem? They sometimes contained nearly as many calories as a full-fat version. Just because it says it's fat-free doesn't mean you get a free ride. Packages can say it's fat-free but be loaded with sugar, and sugar-free products be loaded with fat. The solution here is always check the label for calorie content and compare it with the full-fat version. Why is any of this important anyway? Well, as you know, we're facing a health crisis in the United States. Over 700,000 deaths alone are caused by cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, and cancers. And most of these are caused by our poor diets. If we want to make a change, we first have to start with ourselves. We need to work on becoming better shoppers and researching what exactly we are putting in our bodies because it might affect us down the road. Well, thanks so much for watching.